What is a ULEZ camera?
Electronic assault weaponry. It's not a camera, it's geofencing for your C40 15-minute digital prison. I got well unlucky, mate. As it fell over and hit the floor, a police car drove right past. Wouldn't let my family into the house, calling it a crime scene. Just trying to shut me up, basically. But guess what? It's just annoyed me even more, and I'm going to keep going for it even harder now. Someone had to do it. If you want something done properly, guess what? Best person for that job is you. It's okay to pollute if you pay. I want to see my kids grow up in a better world, and this world that we're heading towards at the minute ain't good enough. It ain't good enough for my kids. There's no more 6-foot squad. The police have been absolutely decimated by equal opportunities. They've weakened them. Absolute state of them.
Michelle Obama. Has she got a vagina or a penis?
That's definitely a geezer. They say courage is contagious, but I ain't seeing it. Freedom isn't free. You got to fight for it. You want to win your freedom, go out and take it back.
If you're watching porn on your phone, someone's watching you jerking the gherkin. I want to say a quick thank you to our sponsors, Gold Seal. I use their products every single day, and now I finally get to work with them. I use their products for anti-inflammatory, reduced anxiety, better sleep, and mental clarity. I'm going to put a link to their website in the description, along with a 10% discount code for you to take advantage of. Go and have a look at their website, see if there's anything in there for you. I hope you enjoy this week's episode, and good health. Matt.
Then, Vlad.
Yeah, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on. I've had my eye on you for a long time, and I know that this could potentially put my channel in danger, but I think, you know what? You got a story, you got a reason. In my opinion, you're a disruptive, independent journalist. You're a reporter on the whole ULEZ madness, which we're going to get into from the off. I'm going to have to put a disclaimer out. We do not endorse or condone or promote any vandalism of any sort whatsoever. The stuff that you report on, I spectate that. But what I'm not going to do is shy away from it, and I'm not going to not ask questions about it. So what made you start reporting on these ULEZ? Well, a lot of people will consider them cameras. You consider them something else. So the first question is, what made you start reporting on people removing and damaging these ULEZ cameras? And what is a ULEZ camera?
Ulez is the ultra-low emission zone in London, and it all started, it come to basically to the end of my road. So they've got static units up all over town, put them in. It all started on the 29th of August 2023, and they put all these static units all over town, all over the traffic lights, every junction, loads of little cul-de-sacs all boxed off, like, so you can't go anywhere without getting sort of caught by one of these things. Like, people coming out of the house straight away, that's it, £12.50. And yeah, then they started doing mobile vans. So one come to the end of my road, and I was just like, I saw it on Facebook, and I was just like, that's pot down the end of the road, we've got to go and do something about that. So I just went down my garage, and I just got a couple of bits of wood, screwed them together, and just wrote no ULEZ on it, and just went out there and just held it up in front of the unit, in front of the ULEZ, which I thought at that time was just a camera. But yeah, with a bit of investigation later on, it's electronic. It's actually announced by MI5 the other week. On the 14th, they put out the whole traffic network in London is compromised by the Chinese. GB News actually posted that. That was the same day we were up City Hall serving 𝐟𝐨𝐫𝐿 legal papers to remove the ULEZ because of the dangers that it can pose to people.
What are those dangers?
It's a laser array, phased array electronic assault weaponry. So yeah, it can target you. So they're shining a laser in your face every time you drive past that. It's Cat 4 lasers. We've got the patents for it. I've actually got a leaflet with me today with the patent numbers, all the information on it. We've served them, we've told them what they've put up. Like, basically, if you're not aware of what you've done, here's what you've done. So now there's going to be accountability, personal accountability for 𝐷𝐾𝐿. We went for 𝐷𝐾𝐿, 4 people we've done, 2 of the health and safety ones, and also the C40 15-minute cities chairman as well. So 4 people we served at City Hall with notice to remove this dangerous equipment off the streets of London.
How do you know the equipment is actually dangerous?
It's been taken and taken apart.
So the bioweapons, should we call them that?
What, the ULEZ?
Yeah.
They're not, it's electronic assault equipment. So it's like they can basically, in the back of them things, so like your standard ANPR camera costs about £2,000. You can go onto Amazon right now and buy like the best one that the councils use, and it's £2,000. But the ULEZ is like priced. We've had two different conflicting prices. One from my solicitors, which said £6,250. Sorry, in the court documents that I got. But then someone else got charged with damaging one, and they priced it at £8,795. It was. That was through MK Law Solicitors. That was a guy over in South London. So they've given different prices, but £8,000 a unit. What's the price? There's Cognitech Chinese motherboard in the back of that. Two lenses, £1,000 each. Like it's just like way over spec for what they need it for. So like that in itself started ringing alarm bells for us. So then like we've got a weapons expert on the man who's got patents. Do you know Mark Steele? So he's got patents for electronic assault weaponry. He's designed it, made it, got the patents for it, and he is an expert in that field. So he's had this thing and looked at it, and that is what it is. Osram Cat 4 lasers, 24 of them array in the front. So it scans a cityscape. So have you seen like, when you see in the movies where like in China, for instance, where they come up and like you get the man's like credit score comes up above his head. That sort of thing. It's scanning the cityscape. These things can facial recognition, retinal recognition, like down to just a patch of skin, identify you from your stamp. They've got all sorts of capabilities, and people who have had the jibby jab also can get seen better by this because they've got content inside them that's more visible with these lasers. It can bounce back off them. So.
Yeah, I've heard that concept. So what the government are leading us to believe, me, like your average man, is that these ULEZ cameras are put in place to reduce emissions, to make the air clearer, safer on your lungs. And then you've got the people that are coming out saying, okay, what about people that have got asthma? This is great for them, and sort of trying to promote it in a way that it's actually great for the environment. Whereas I see it, with my little knowledge that I've got, as a gross attack on the working class man and woman of the country. And also, it's like, at what point do you not need these ULEZ cameras? At what point does the air not become toxic?
It's a flawed system right from the outset. So it's okay to pollute if you pay, basically. So they don't care about whether you're polluting or not, as long as you pay the money. So if everyone was rich and we all had loads of dough, we can all pollute as much as we want. But they know people aren't. So they know that this is an attack, and they know that they're going to price people off the road doing that. And that's the idea for your C40 15-minute digital prison. That's what it's going to be. That's the end game here. It's an attack on motorists. If you look at all I saw a thing today, I was just sitting out in their front. They're talking about 10 mile an hour speed limits in cities now. Like, that's just ridiculous. Your average cyclist goes faster than 10 miles an hour, right? And they're talking about clean air zones, right? So I live right on the border of the ULEZ. So, like, my house is here, and a mile down the road is out of the ULEZ zone, right? So what's to stop, right? Man down here with some big gas-guzzling tank, right, which spurts out dirty black diesel everywhere, turning his engine on, right, and leaving there running all day, right? He's not in the zone. He can do that if he wants. And then the wind comes, and I've just paid for clean air just over here a mile later, but now that wind is blowing from his direction over to me, and my clean air that I've just paid for is now being polluted by dirty air from outside the zone, from people who are not paying the same charge as me. So if they can't control the wind, how can they tell me that I've paying for clean air?
Yeah, that was my thoughts exactly when I said that. I mean, you can see why people are going to be absolutely furious. I mean, imagine, well, you live a mile away from the boundary. So you think it's far more sinister than just a cash grab from the government? Do you think these cameras, or what do you want to refer to them as?
It's a mouthful saying phased array electronic assault weapon every single time. So I just call it a ULEZ unit. I try not to say the word camera because it functions as a camera, but every time you say that it's a camera, you're manifesting 𝐟𝐸𝐿 reality there. It's not a camera. It's something far more sinister than that. So for your geofencing, for your C40 15-minute digital prison, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, that's a very good way of looking at it, which is why I wanted to ask you, what would you rather us call it? Because it's a bit like affirming a trans child.
You're pretending with them.
You're pretending with them, and I don't think many people agree with 𝐸𝐿𝐫𝐿. And we'll move on to 𝐸𝐿𝐫𝐿. But where did the term Blade Runner come from, and what actually is a Blade Runner?
It was a mainstream media thing before I even made social media accounts. So when the Ulez first started, I think it was the 27th of September, so just about a month it had been running when I decided to go out and sort of do something. But there had been people on it, and like there had been people out stealing these things before the actual the zone even came into effect. So that was sort of pre-August 2023. And the mainstream media had said Bladerunners. And then we come to like making the names for like Matt Hardy Bladerunner. That come from my name's Matt, obviously, and then someone goes, "Oh, you sound like Tom Hardy out of the Craze." So then we got Hardy, and then like Bladerunner, because I just called myself my old Xbox gamer tag. I just Evil the Mad Matt was my old gamer tag, and I just called. And then Andy was giving me advice like on the social media side of things. He said, "You can't call it that. We've got to have something a bit friendlier that the public are going to want to go. No one's going to follow Evil the Mad Matt, so you can't." So then I had to wait a week after I made that account, and then changed it to like Matt Hardy Bladerunner, and then that just stuck. But none of that was my idea. Apart from the Matt,
it's just sort of snowballed. Yeah. Well, it depends how you look at it, out of control, or it snowballed into control. So when did you actually start making videos, and how did you know? Because you take footage and you capture the moment where people are actually chopping down these cameras, didn't you?
I've caught it a couple of times, but yeah, generally I'm not there when it happens. I just go there afterwards, and like a lot of the time you see the videos, it's already fallen over on the floor, and I'm just there basically like filming the aftermath, if you will, and just giving a little report. And then quite often, like, yeah, when it gets cut down, they're there almost next day, like lifting it all up. So then, like, and they're coming with security guards, because obviously people don't like these lads coming and putting these units on the streets. So the security there, and like that probably made it worse for them having the security there. Because then you got someone else to like, someone who's like there as a target, basically. You got secure. What do you need security for, eh? What are you doing? Like, and then yeah, it's just like it's easy to catch them. And then like because of the social media following, I just got to look in my message requests. Oh, Matt, they're here. Oh, Matt, they're there. Go and do this. So it's just a sort of just like check your message requests, and you'll find out where things happen.
So you've organically built your sources as an independent journalist.
Yeah, basically. I just monitor my social media accounts, and people like they'll tell you they want to see me go out there and do something like now. So they'll tell me if it's happening. Oh, Matt, yeah, guess what? They're there. And it's like 5 minutes from my house, no problem. I go down there. I know they're going to be there longer than 5 minutes. So yeah, let's go and have a little look. Let's go and film the crime.
And do you know the people that are cutting these cameras down?
I might.
And are they firm-handed, or are they all independents?
I whacked one down myself. And I got nicked for it on the site, and I've pled not guilty for that. I got nicked for it on scene, right? And I took it down. I went out and Main Junction, Hillingdon Circus, and I cut it down, and I got nicked for that on the spot, right? And
well, they caught you in the act.
Basically, I got well unlucky, mate. As it fell over and hit the floor, a police car drove right past. Like his window was open, he heard it fall over. I was like, how's your luck? Like,
and how high are these things?
It's just like a traffic light, so it's like just above 3 metres. So the traffic lights aren't. It's not a heavy unit. Like, do you know what I mean? There's not really much danger. Like, even if it dropped on you, you'd probably survive it. Do you know what I mean?
Probably.
But, yeah. There's always a chance of getting unlucky, isn't there? But yeah, I cut that down. I've pled not guilty because I've pled self-defence, because that's a property damaging piece of dangerous hardware that can cause me harm, cause my property harm, and can cause the environment harm. So I've admitted cutting it down. I said, yeah, I've went in my court documents. I'm on trial for this in June 2026. Yeah, I've admitted it. I've said I cut that down, but I've pled not guilty because we can prove that it is a dangerous weapons system, and I did that in self-defence.
That's a real interesting way of looking at it. So, in what sense is it a weapon?
It can cause you harm. So basically, it's got capacitors in the back of it that can hold a charge. So if they use them capacitors to fire through the laser, they can kill you with 4 watts of power. It can hold 175 watts of power in the back of it. It's got cooling and everything in there.
Yeah, it
sounds mad.
It's an insane concept to think that you can act in self-defence against a Ulez camera.
It's basically the same concept. So if I walk in here now and I point a weapon at you, right, and I tell you I'm going to hurt you with said weapon, guess what? You've got a right to defend yourself from that, and you can do what you like to me. Yeah, and you don't get in any trouble for that because it's self-defence. Now, if someone's got a turret and there's something on the top of that turret that can have you, right, and you go and do something about that's self-defence, because that turret could harm you. It's the same thing. The units on top of these traffic lights can harm me. I know they can, so I went out and locked one down in self-defence.
Have you had legal advice on where you stand with that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's really all. I didn't admit this to anyone until we'd gone through the barristers, we'd done all the legal paperwork, and this is what we're going to say. Yeah. So we've put that into the court. This is my defence. So
you may get a judge that will be thinking, well, this is absurd. This is criminal damage, clear as day. And then you go, actually, here's my evidence, but you're going to need to open this camera and examine it so that you can prove that it's dangerous. Is that right?
We had a discussion the other week about taking one of these things and taking it to a police station and handing it in as a weapon and going, here, this is dangerous, inspect it, get something done about it. Because every single police officer that I've interacted with, I've reported to them about the bioweapon that they've all been jibbed with, and I've reported to them about the Ulez weapons system. So every one of them's now in breach of their oath. They're not investigating a crime. I've reported it to them. I specifically report every single copper that I interact with. I've been nicked 8 times, so it's quite a lot. I'd never been in trouble in my life before 18 months ago. December the 2nd, 2023, they first come for me, raided my house, got NFA. Well, they haven't done anything about that. They just basically burgled my house, nicked me, made me miss my son's fight. They knew what day that was going to be as well, so they come on an attack. Right, nothing. They took from my house stickers and a couple of no Ulez placards that we'd been using at the demonstrations and that. But yeah, they didn't take anything. I think they took an air rifle that day as well, an air rifle that had been handed down from a family member who died. And they said, "Oh, we're taking that." And yeah, they've proceeded to the other day. They burgled my house for 8 hours. 4 of them for 8 hours. Had a whole shift at my house. And do you know what they took? Fucking ball bearing guns. Ball bearing guns that for airsoft.
Oh, on what grounds are they storming your house? Incitement?
Right, so get this, right? So I'm sitting I got nicked for a breach of tag, right? So I'm sitting in the cell. I got told, you're going to court this afternoon. We'll just nick you for the breach of tag in the morning, chuck you before the court in the afternoon. Happy days, right? Come 12 o'clock, they've walked up to the cell, rearrested me for cutting down a Ulez on the 12th of April this year at Ryefield. I straight away, I was like, hold on, how are you arresting me for that? There's not been a Ulez on that junction that you're talking about since the 23rd of January this year. So how are you rearresting me for, cutting down a Ulez when there's been no Ulez there? Turns out, right, they've gone to my TikTok and there's a video on there, hashtag on this day, from the 12th of April last year that I just posted. I just took it says on this day on the screen. So I edited it and just pulled that off. So it just looked like a normal video, but on the hashtag, it was on this day. And that was the only, I didn't write a skip for it, anything, just hashtag on this day and that video. And they looked at that and they said that I cut that down that day. And there'd been no report of this crime, nothing. We're going to have them for this. And then they proceeded to burgle my house on the back of that accusation for 8 hours. Wouldn't let my son in, wouldn't let my family into the house, calling it a crime scene, right? Yeah, it's just absolute attack on me, just trying to shut me up, basically. But guess what? It's just annoyed me even more, and I'm going to keep going for it even harder now.
What are the police's attitude like when they're doing that? Does it look like they're enjoying themselves? They
don't like me. I don't behave when I'm in there, mate. I sing and I give it to them, and I don't shut up.
What's your song of choice?
You've all had the poison, doo-dah, doo-dah, now there's poison in your blood, doo-dah, doo-dah,
Are you making up your own songs?
Oh, yeah, mate, I'm just sitting there going for it, mate, all day long. Singing makes you tired. So in the sweatbox, I either hum, sing, decorate the cell, or sleep. There's nothing else to do in there. Boredom's a killer when you've got ADHD, mate. So sing. Anyone who's tired in the sweatbox, you can't get tired. Just sing out loud for a couple of hours. And try not to go too loud, though, because you do your voice. You've got to, sort of save yourself. If you get too angry and sing too loud, I can go a lot longer, just a little, about 90%. If you start going 100%, you run out a bit quick. So, you just want it in about 90%, and you can get on them for hours. I see their faces when they're letting me out, mate, and they don't like me.
I bet they think you absolute fucking madman.
Yeah, I don't care, though. I'm not mad. I'm smarter than all of them.
How long do you think you'll get in jail if you do go to jail?
I'm not going to be going to jail. I haven't done anything. I've not committed any crime here. I've done it in self-defence.
But we know that when the state are after you, they, find me the man and I'll find you the crime.
That's what I want to do. I've been behaving myself. Like, since I cut that Ulez down last July, I've not really done anything. I've been out and reported on a few, but I don't intend to go out and do any damage or anything. I want to go to court now and prove what we can prove. Like, there's no point in getting myself in any more trouble now. So I've just been wood turning, sitting in my garage, just pottering about, just keeping busy. Do you know what I mean? I don't need to like go out and do anything. I can just like walk around the park with my dogs, make a video whenever I want. Like,
so I believe that the state want us to live in a state of fear, so we conform. And you know what? They've got some real good tactics that are effective. And I push the boundaries as far as I can, but there is a line I won't cross because I want my liberty. I want to be able to still provide for my family. I don't want them attacking my finances and my mental health, and they really will go as far as they need to. And you seem like a pretty fearless guy, but to a certain extent, have they managed to unnerve you slightly?
No, they've just annoyed us. Like, every time I've done nothing but sell the truth. And I've never been in trouble in my life before I started any of this. So I've got nothing to fear here. You just got to lose the fear. What are you going to do to me? Like, the worst thing you can do is take my liberty for a little while. But at the end of the day, it's criminal damage less than $5,000. Like, a lad, he done exactly the same thing as I done. A lad called 𝐃𝐨𝐬𝐿. Was in Uxbridge Magistrates Court on, I think it was the start of February this year anyway. He got caught at the end of January, doing exactly the same thing. He walked out, cut down a Ulez, got caught on scene, went and pled guilty at the Uxbridge Magistrates Court. He got 28 days on tag and a £500 fine. And
what's the main driving force? Why are you continuing to push this forward?
Well, they took my HGV licence. Like, when they attacked me, they come, when I was talking about the raid, the first one, they found some weed at my house. Like, obviously, I smoked that for medical. I've got a prescription now. I had to go and get a prescription because they took my licence off me. I was a HGV driver before, but they said, I had a back in 2017. I fell over at work, and I had this thing called 𝐸𝐶𝐻. So it basically crippled us. So I had to spend 3 months learning. I got told I was never going to walk again. So I had to spend it's probably about a 2-year recovery, 3-year recovery in all. And it's still now, I have to be careful. But yeah, because of that, I didn't smoke weed up until then, but because of the medicinal, for back pain and stuff, it helps you out. So I was smoking it for that. Never done it at work, do you know what I mean? I always behaved myself. I only ever done it in the evenings, do you know what I mean? I wasn't stupid about it. And they took my HGV licence for that. So now I didn't even apply for it back. I thought, go fuck, yeah.
So this is personal now.
Yeah, they took that, and I was like, right, okay, you want to take my HGV? I would have been, I would have probably gone back to work by now and just behaved myself if they left me alone. But yeah, they come for us, and now you basically forced my hand, and I've had enough now. I want to see my kids grow up in a better world, and this world that we're heading towards at the minute ain't good enough. It ain't good enough for my kids, right? And we've got to do something about it. And I might not be able to change the world by myself, but I can certainly have a go. And I tell you what, it's the people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world. That's the ones who end up doing it. So yeah, you've got to have a go, haven't you?
And it certainly inspires other people to think, you know what, if Matt's got the balls to do that, I can at least put a tweet out and ask for change. Because some people are too scared to even think now.
If you want to be a thorn in your council's side, don't send a tweet out. Go and send them a freedom of information request and hold them to account for the money that is. Follow the money here. That's what everyone should start. Everyone who says, I can't do anything, yes, you can. Cause your council problems with freedom of information requests, because when you start holding them to account, even if they tell you it's not in the public interest, you can still come forward. And then more people will ask that question. And when enough people want to know, then it is in the public interest.
Have you always been anti-government? Or is it just since you saw what they were doing?
I just don't like getting told off. Just don't tell me off. I've never stuck at one job. I've always just moved around and just done my own thing. I can't. Yeah. I don't like authority.
How would you describe yourself other than extremely handsome? Would you say you was on the left, on the right, in the centre, or an anarchist?
I just want to be left alone, mate. I just leave me alone. Everyone just do whatever you want. If I ain't interfering with you, don't interfere with me. That's all I wanted. Just leave me alone. I like quite an antisocial lad, do you know what I mean? I like going down into my garage and just sitting there and turning bits of wood. I talk to the wood. I get more sense out of it than most people. So, yeah, one of those,
Do you
isn't
feel
it?
like you can connect with the wood?
Mate, I'll tell you what, every single bit of wood in my garage, I'll tell you exactly where it come from. I'll tell you exactly what it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could chuck 20 people in there, mate. I wouldn't know their names. It would take me months to learn their names. But like, the bits of wood, yeah, they're my mates.
Yeah, you're 100% your own man. So you don't particularly like authority.
No.
What about if it's reasonable? Is there such a thing?
Reasonable authority? There's no authority that's reasonable. Like, I don't tell you what to, like, do you know what I mean? Parental authority, tell your kids what to do, like, train them up right. But, yeah, other than that, like, everything's just set up like a big prison now. We're in a big open-air prison here.
What's your views on the police?
Yeah, I don't like the police. They're not for the people at the minute. They're not for the people. They're a corporate entity there to make money. They attack motorists. They attack like innocent people. I mean, yeah, if there's like something going on, they all turn up on force and they do arrest baddies. But like they could be doing a lot better job than sitting like how many jobs do you know, right? Where you get to clock on at work, right, and then go and sit in a cafe. That's what they do. They all clock on at work. Like, have your lunch before you get to work and then get to work and do some bloody work, right? Don't go to the BP and sit there or get your own cafe. Like, we don't want to see you sitting in BP garages because you get a discount there. You should be doing some work. I bet you there was people burgled in that area last night and you're too busy to investigate and we're having a coffee at the BP. That old lady there's sitting there scared at her house because she got burgled last night and all you do is give her a crime number. Just a police presence of reassurance for these old people that are having stuff like this done to them would be good for them. Like, go round there and assure her, like, at least make it look like you're trying to investigate it. Do you know what I mean? Even if you're not going to, go round there and make it look like you're going to. Like, but they don't. They'd rather sit up the BP drinking cups of coffee. And like the state of a lot of them, like there's no fitness standards anymore. There's no more 6 foot squad. Like, the police have been absolutely decimated by equal opportunities. They've weakened them. And that's a deliberate act by the people in charge. Like, now, these days, the people that they would have weeded out first, back in like when we grew up in the 70s and 80s, right? They're the ones, like, you're first out the door. And the ones that they would have got rid of, they're the ones that are getting a job now. Absolute state of them.
God, that is so bang on as well. And it's nice to talk to somebody that is exactly the same age as me, born the same year. So we've seen the shift in culture, in policing, in government, in standards across the board.
Price down the market is what we've seen over our adult lives. So since I was 20 years old, like in 2000, I could go to Tesco's and I could get I could fill a big shopping trolley, right? 60, 80 quid. Right now, if you want to fill one of those trolleys, you're looking at £250, right? It's just like everything's being priced out the market. Like, I've paid for my first house in the year 2000. We bought a house and paid 108 grand for it. Little 2 up, 2 down, nothing flash, right? Go on, I think we moved out of there in 2008. So it went more than double. We sold that for £200,000, right? Just over 200 grand, I think it was. So it put nearly 100 grand on in 8 years, 9 years, right? And then, yeah, 239 we paid for the house now that we're in. And like, if I want to sell that now, it's like 450, 500 grand. Now, how are my kids supposed to get that? Like, when they're putting them on an apprenticeship and tell, we ain't got to pay you no wage until you're 18. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're getting 50 quid a day. That's how much they give these kids on an apprenticeship. 50 quid a day to like go out and risk their life as a tree surgeon or something.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, inflation. That was the next thing I was going to say. You beat me to it. But yeah, wow, that mind blowing. What about politicians? Are there any politicians that you like?
No. I don't even know half them. I recognise like probably the main 5, and that's about these
don't
people,
like any of them.
Yeah, like it's not. It's like they're just puppets. These people are like, who are these people? Who are they, and where do they come from? Because it ain't from like my street, and it ain't from anyone I know's street. Because these people come to our area and screw us over. Like this, I think we've got one in our area, Danny Beals, is it? I think he's like young lad. But he was from, he's got a property in Hillingdon, allegedly, but he was from Islington. And he's come out to run as a Hillingdon councillor. And it's like, go away, mate. You're not wanted round here. You come round here. Now you're renting a house round here just so you can say you live round here or something. But you're not from round here. And you just here to screw us over. So go away.
What about Donald Trump? Not even like some of his policies and his
Some of his
demeanour?
policies, some of his stuff he does is like, it's really good. Like he
Sort of
seems
puts
to
his
be
country first, doesn't he?
He seems to be straightening it out a bit. But guess what? He's a billionaire. You're looking to one billionaire to save you from all his other billionaire mates. Hello. It don't make no sense. He looks to me like the NWO, the New World Order, raging in from the right instead of the left.
So do you think Trump's bought and paid for?
Who knows? But he's a billionaire at the end of the day. He didn't get that through nothing, did he? He might be a good businessman or whatever, but he's still a 33-degree Mason and a billionaire. And the only way that they get to billionaire is generational wealth hoarding.
Let's get into the mind of Matt Hardy. So you said he's a Freemason. So let's veer off from Ulez and all this other stuff. So some conspiracies, what people would consider conspiracies. So, okay, you said, I want to talk about Freemasonry because I've heard, my ears pricked up when I was doing some research on it. And I thought, oh, that's interesting to talk about because I'm naive when it comes to Freemasons, but I know a lot of people go down rabbit holes. But before we go to Freemasonry, the assassinations on Donald Trump, were they staged or were they real, in your opinion?
I reckon staged because, like, yeah, it was just all too comical, wasn't it? Like he's got a cut on his ear or like, he turned his head right. It just don't make no sense.
You weren't buying it?
Yeah, it's just a show. What we're watching on the mainstream is a show. One big show.
Is the Freemasons a gentleman's club or is it a cult?
It's a secret society.
And what are they hiding?
Basically, if you want to get on in business, so a lot of small businesses is like you just see a lad just come out of nowhere and all of a sudden he's got all his trucks and he's got all his bits and bobs that he needs to go out and do his work. He's a Freemason, like they're all in it together. They all help each other out, like to get ahead in business, and they'll help you close down a rival as well. Like so, it's all about business. They all like sort each other money out. If you want to get ahead in business, better be a Freemason.
At the moment, you're selling it to me. That don't sound like a bad idea. What about the higher levels of Freemasonry? Have you looked into that?
I have a little bit. Like there's like rabbit holes everywhere, but like a lot of them seem to be wrong uns. Like into all like you get it down into all the like I don't know. You don't really want to be going there on YouTube, but like all the kiddie fiddling and that's like basically the bottom line of it all. Like a lot of the higher degrees of them are into that sort of thing, like pedovores.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I know a lot of people think that the Freemasons are like a satanical cult.
I'd say at a lot of the lower levels, like a lot of people are in there for it's in good faith. So, like, I'm not saying like every Freemason's bad. Like, there's more good than bad. I bet you there's more good than bad. But it's the bad ones and what they do, and like they're in the upper levels, like.
A bit like Scientology, the higher up you go, the more you learn, the more you do, the more secrets there are.
Yeah, the more secrets. And only certain people will get to learn those secrets. So if you're not of a certain demeanour, if they can't control you, you won't be getting up to those high levels. If you don't do certain things, they've got rituals and like it's really culty, like some of the stuff I've seen.
Well, I read somewhere, someone referred to Reform as a cult. And I'm guessing that you've kept your eye on Reform and Farage and how that's all playing out.
I don't care. Like, people who are playing that game are still caught up in the old world. We're not going to be going and, like, these politicians are not going to save anyone, I don't think. We need to save ourselves here. I think that if anyone wants to, like, lobby someone to help you, we should lobby the fucking British Army. We should go and sit outside the Catterick barracks and we should say to these boys, don't quit your jobs, come and help us. Come and help us. That's what they did in, I think it was a South American country. Was it Bolivia or somewhere? One of them. Don't quote me on that. It's probably wrong, but it's definitely a South American country where they had a big turmoil with the government, and they went and sat outside the army barracks and they demanded that the army take over the parliament, and they stayed there for a couple of weeks, and it happened.
It's funny you mention the military because as you're sitting here and you're talking to me, I'm thinking to myself, 𝐶𝐿, you would make a great soldier, but then you'd make a terrible soldier.
I don't like getting told what to do.
You don't like being told what to do.
Yeah.
But can you see how you would be a good soldier as well? You've got a big set of balls.
It's a hard heart that kills.
Mm.
It's a hard heart that kills.
And the country needs courage, and I can see you got that in abundance. That's what we're lacking.
Yeah, I just don't care. I just like, what are you going to do about it? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, everyone's like, oh, these, like, when, especially like, I was walking up to them Ulez lads, and they're all big lumps, but it's like, look, I'm a big lump too. Like, what are they going to? I'm not here to be like everyone's like automatically thinking violence when they see big guys and that, but like, I'm never violent. Like,
You rip.
I'm good with my tongue.
You
like.
rip I mean, I have to admit. I mean, people watching this that follow you closely and watch your content, I mean, it's some of the best I've seen on the internet. I mean, as far as I know you're doing a sterling job in just awakening the people to, you know, the working class are under attack here, but also it is entertaining. And before we move on to other bits and pieces, people that follow you and that love your work, they would never forgive me if I didn't talk to you about James. So for the viewers and listeners that don't know who James is, so when these Ulez cameras are being re-erected after someone's cut them down, or they're just being erected, period, they now have to come with an entourage of security guards because everyone's taking umbrage to it. Nobody wants it in their towns. And they're normally sort of big, pumped up, muscular men. And there's a guy called James that wears tight jeans, which Matt points out on the regular, and he's got big lats. And I'm sort of, when I watch you sort of ripping the daylights out of him, I wondered, have you built up a bit of a rapport, you and him? Is there a little bit of love there, or is there not any love there at all?
He don't like me, mate. He don't like me.
He don't take it in.
He can, sometimes, like sometimes they fight like. They can't really say anything back, so they've got to remain professional because they're at work. And I can sit there and say whatever I like, basically. So,
and you do?
Yeah. And, like, what are you going to do about it? Like, after, like, I think the longest day I had with that lad was 6 hours. And, like, if I'm on your case for 6 hours, I'm going to start grating on you, I'm telling you. Like, I will get under your skin and I will rile you up. Like, you know, I can do it to most people in less than a minute. If I want to get your goat, I can. It's easy.
You would have made a great fifth member of the Young Ones.
Oh, mate, yeah. Carnage. Carnage. I remember the Young Ones. That was a show I did like. I like Rick Mail. There's a man who knew what he was talking about.
You remind me a little bit of Rick Mail.
Yeah, Rick Mail was like, if I watched anything with I used to watch Bottom as well with Rick Mail.
Brilliant, wasn't it?
Young Ones, Bottom. Yeah, he was like a little cult hero of mine, Rick Mail, growing up. But yeah, one of the last things he said on camera. Have you seen his last little thing?
Yes, what was it?
Throw away your television sets now. Who is the man behind the camera? Why is he making things that he wants you to see? That's what he was saying.
Yeah, Drop Dead Fred was another blinder. Yeah, I was a big Rick Mail fan. Oh, that's nice to find a fellow Rick Mail fan. So going back to James, so what's your bone of contention with the security guards that protect the Ulez cameras?
They're criminals. They're criminals enabling the... so the oppressors can only oppress with enablers amongst the oppressed. These are the enablers amongst the oppressed. These are never going to be like flying around in private jets like the masters that they answer to, but they're out enforcing for them. And like at the end of the day, they're criminals. It's a criminal act to like put a turret with a laser weapon pointing at me. That's illegal for you to shine that at me, and they're criminals. I'm there recording a crime, and if I can go there and like take the mick and make a bit of fun. I mean, I could have easily destroyed myself if I went there and was crude and just like started effing and blinding and calling them names and just telling them to go. Like, it wouldn't have looked good. But I set about them in like a way that I knew that it was just, you know what I mean? Like, we want to have a laugh with this. I want, like, people are going to watch these videos and it's got to be funny if they're going to like carry on watching. So yeah, like bin life. I was a bin driver for like 3 or 4 years. So they're just like driving around. That was the second last job I'd done before I quit.
Good mate of mine's a bin man, so I know that banter is like that gets you through the day.
That's what I'd done like for like all day, every day for like them 3 years, and then before that I used to play Xbox Live, and like I used to go on there because I like to argue. I will sit there and I'll argue. I'll just go in there and just argue with anyone about anything. Just like, let's go and have an argument today. Like, I don't care what we argue about. I just
why do you think it is? Why do you like arguing?
It just gets people away from you, doesn't it?
You want to be left alone?
Yeah, and leave me alone or else I'll argue with you.
Yeah. Tommy Robinson, friend or foe?
I've never met the geezer.
His work, fan? Go on, be honest. It's all right.
Yeah, he does some good stuff, but like I think he steers people like in just one direction. Like he could, why is he not going after the people at the top? Like it seems he just goes for his target audience of the grooming gangs and that, and that's all he seems to go for. Like there's people enabling these lads that he's going for at the top. I mean, what he's doing, yeah, spot on. Like these people, like what he's exposed, fuck it, that all needs to stop. But he should be going higher up the ladder. But then I see, if he does go up higher up the ladder, he'll just get taken down again, wouldn't he?
Well, the thing is, indirectly...
I do believe he's a political prisoner.
Well, you and him are actually fighting the same battle. So I'll tell you what Tom is doing, because we only know what we hear and read and what we're exposed to, which are normally just snippets. So I believe you and him... you're like the Tommy Robinson of the Ulez industry, because you're both actually going for the elites, but you've got to get to them somehow. So the grooming gangs have been enabled and covered up by the elites. So going for the grooming gangs, you work its way up to the elite. And we now have in Parliament people requesting a national rape inquiry. And this has been going on 40, 50 years. There's a problem within that community. And if Tommy hadn't have targeted them, because if he hadn't, nobody else was doing it because they were too scared of being called racist. So the fact that he's targeted that specific group of people where there is an issue, I mean, the stats don't lie, it's now moved the Overton window so far that now the politicians can speak about it in Parliament, and now this is where the elite are under the microscope, because if that national rape inquiry goes ahead, which Labour are strongly objecting to, we suspect the reason why, because they're
riddled.
They're complicit. So can you now see Tommy is going he is going for the deep state, but it's chess. You can't just go checkmate. You've got to move around the board. So I hope that's sort of cleared that up.
Yeah, no, I see the angle, but like I say, I don't think the geezer should be in prison. Definitely not. What a complete farce that is. Like, and there's that other lady, Lucy Connolly. Like, it's 31 months for a tweet.
That's heartbreaking.
Like, 31 months. Like, I've seen they've done a page for her, like a GoFundMe. There's about 55 grand in that the other day. But, like, it's still no consolation. She's missed nearly a year with her kids now. It's coming up on a year she's been inside. It was last August, wasn't it, with them Southport riots when she got put inside. I mean, they've done a lad off our estate and put him away for 3 months. 𝐻𝐵 Belmarsh, 23-year-old lad from my estate.
What did he do?
Song and dance in the street. He sang and he danced. He didn't throw anything, didn't hurt anyone. He basically sung at the police with the crowd, the chanting the crowd were doing, and he done a dance, like going, come on in, like that, with his arms out in front of the police. Got nicked for it. Took stupid advice from his solicitor, pled guilty, and they went going bang 6 months straight away.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, because I get fed information that the mainstream will never, ever report on, I know so many of those lads that are in jail for doing nothing, like no crime.
Yeah.
If it was done under a different government or done on any other day and there wasn't like a political agenda behind it, it wouldn't even be a slap on the wrist. It'd just be that the police would just ignore what they'd done. But that was just that was such a hideous thing. Starmer used his power to come out and say, right, I'm going to flex. It's the far right that are the problem in the country. Oh, okay.
These boys, they should be worried about what they've done. Like the King's army are coming from.
The King. Why doesn't the King...
I'm not talking about King Charles. I'm talking about the King's army.
What do you mean?
There's an army of us coming together, mate, and we're going to be out. Like, have you heard a guy called Dale Vincent?
No.
Oh, you need to get Dale on here, mate. You would love Dale. Ex-British Sergeant Major, 2 tours of Afghanistan. During the pandemic, he went to a vaccination centre with solicitors, doctors, a couple of local council, like with proper people, right? All the information to prove that basically they were causing harm inside said centre. And they told a couple of coppers, here's the evidence, we're reporting a crime here, you need to close this place down for safety. Said coppers refused to close the vaccine centre, and for that, Dale Vincent put his hands on him and done a citizen's arrest on him. Got charged with putting his hands on the copper, obviously. But yeah, they've just... he was meant to be in court for that in March. But that's gone back. 15 months they've pushed that back because basically Dale can prove that he was in the right there. And if he got that if they heard that day and he got found not guilty, mate, he'd be out arresting them already. And they know that. Like,
so there's like a currently like a secret army being formed, like a militia.
It's not a militia. It's going to be for the people. It's like what we've got working for us at the minute.
So you're going to be part of this army?
I've been offered a job, yeah.
You don't like taking orders?
I don't like taking orders.
Have they given you a leadership role?
I don't know yet, but like, if I get to go out and I get to start lifting the people that's done this country over, I tell you what, I do it for free.
See, I told you have big balls. What about the mainstream media? So we've not spoke about them yet. Here we go. We can link that actually to the grooming gangs because we know that they covered that up for years out of fear of being called racist. Why do you think the mainstream media covered up these grooming gangs for so long?
Because they're complicit. Because they are controlled. Because the same people that own the TV, the radio, the politicians, the businesses, they own everything. But you're not allowed to say who they are. Because you get in big trouble if you say that word.
Yeah, who are the deep state?
I don't know, mate. I don't know.
Who'd you guess are pulling the strings?
You don't see these people. That's the whole idea. That's why you've got puppets. You see the puppets. You don't see the puppet master. That's the whole idea of it. That's why you have puppets for the show. The puppets are in the show and the puppet master's sitting in the background raking up all the money for all the spectators of the show, clearing up. But no one knows who he is unless he decides to come out and show his face, but they don't.
Are you pro-Palestine or pro-Israel?
I don't pay any attention to it, mate. I don't care. No interest of it. It's nothing to do with me. It's like if everyone just left everyone alone, like I'd never have a problem with anyone in Ukraine. I'd never have a problem with anyone in Israel or anywhere else. Like the only people I've got to deal with are people on my street. People in my village. That's all I care about. Like I ain't interested
you're a community man.
Yeah, I ain't interested in the rest of the world. I'm interested in what goes on around me. I get a lot of messages going, "Oh, Matt, you need to come to Belfast. You need to come to Glasgow. You need to come to Manchester." No, I fucking don't. Do it yourself.
Do you know what? There's a lot to be said. There'll be people thinking, well, you know, why aren't you going out there helping more people? But there's also, if we start by focusing on the family unit and community, if everybody done that, happy days.
Yeah, like my page is a tutorial. We ain't the A-team. We ain't coming to help you. If you want to see how it's done, if you want to, I'll tell you in great detail exactly what not to go and do. I'm not going to encourage you to do anything bad, but I can tell you exactly what not to do in great detail if you want to ask. Don't do this, please.
Let me dig more into the mind of Matt Hardy. Is the Earth flat or round?
I'd definitely say it's definitely not a spinning ball. Definitely not a spinning ball. You've only got to walk outside and look around. You can see. Like, why do you think when you go to school, the first thing they try and poison you with, like, making it laughable, like people falling off the edges and stuff? And that's like the first sort of lesson that you remember at school. You go in there, like, they told us and then they laugh at it, like people who think the world's flat, you just fall. Of course, it's a ball. And they make it laughable, but like, why do they? Like, why is that one of the first fucking things you learn at school?
It's amazing how more and more people over the years do believe the Earth is flat.
Ask a kid who's never been like gone to school or poisoned by that. Like, ask them what they think. Kids know, they see it.
Well, I'd be more inclined to ask a pilot. Like, what are your thoughts when you're up there? What can you see?
I've sat in the cockpit of a commercial airliner from Heathrow to Belfast before. The entire trip. When I was about 16, I used to. My mum used to work in the air. She's a retired air traffic controller. So she used to work in the air traffic control tower in Heathrow. And so, yeah, the day I was flying out, she was in the tower. And she's like, my son's on the bottom plane. So then obviously they've said to me, I got on the plane and basically got called up to the cockpit and sat in the cockpit for the entire flight. And I remember that day well. It was like one of the best things I like, sitting in the front of the plane for the entire, like, take-off, landing, the whole lot. You can't do that these days since 9/11. But yeah, it was. I remember I could see both sides of the UK, and like, it just looked flat to me. And I was just like, yeah, it's a different view in the front of a plane to the back.
Yeah, great experience. You mentioned 9/11. So have you got a theory on what happened there?
Yeah, they blew it up.
Who?
I don't know. The geezer who owned it. He put out like, and I think it was a big heist. What happened to Building 7 as well? Couple of £1 billion like missing from the building next door that also fell over. It was a controlled demolition. You've only got to watch it.
You think it was an inside job?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. They blew that up. Like, Osama bin Laden was a CIA operative. Yeah, all working for the same people. Like, it's all a show, isn't it? They did that deliberately. They blew that up. Definitely. It's going to all come out.
Is Hillary Clinton dead or alive?
Dead.
How do you know?
I don't. I'm guessing. I'm guessing, mate. I'm guessing. I'd like to think so. But, like, some of the stuff, I followed the Q. Did you ever look at Q?
No.
Massive Q conspiracy, right? So people call it QAnon. You heard of QAnon?
Yeah, I've heard that, yeah.
So-
I've not looked into it, but I've heard the word.
So I followed that from, like, 2017. And, like, some of the stuff they showed, some of the tweets from them accounts and that, I do believe she's gone. Like, they proved it. They said, like some of the tweets she'd done, they went, right, we're going to tweet on her page just to show you she ain't controlling it anymore. And then Trump and the team were, like, putting out tweets at the same time. Like, they'd done it all time-stamping stuff. So the Q would post something and then it'd be a fucking exact same time-stamp on a tweet of Hillary Clinton's and stuff. Like, it was all done, like, you got to be a little bit autistic to fucking keep up with it all. But, like, I love a numbers game. So, yeah, it was bang on for me.
Following the numbers.
Yeah.
So you think Hillary Clinton's been dead since 2017?
Yeah, military tribunal back then. Same with all of them. Biden, the lot.
You think Biden's dead?
Yeah, go on. That's not him. That was look what a farce. Look, that 4-year administration where he was just walking around in a daze for the entire time.
I mean, he certainly appeared to be dead to me.
Yeah.
but like The Walking Dead.
Yeah, but like he was in a daze, mate. He weren't there. That weren't him. Like you could see, it didn't even look like Biden.
What about Michelle Obama? Has she got a vagina
Mike.
or a penis?
Big Mike. That's definitely a geezer.
Definitely a geezer.
It's an inverted world. I think Starmer's a girl. What's that ginger one? She's a boy.
You genuinely think that?
Oh, yeah. I think we're living in an inverted world, and these people are like, look at Starmer. Like, did you see him punching a punch bag and stuff? He ain't that like a girl. He's got, like, slanty shoulders. Yeah, it's definitely, I reckon it's inverted, mate. We're inverted. These Satanists, like, if you look at, what's it called? Their goat, like, symbol that was, like, on the Charles thing, King Charles. That's, like, the devil's a transgender, isn't it? Both sexes, like.
I wonder how many people also think Keir Starmer's actually a woman and Angela Rayner's actually a man. And you genuinely believe that?
Yeah, I reckon so. Like, the truth will come out here. I mean, it sounds crazy, I know, but, like, it's an inverted world. Everything's a fucking lie, ladies and gentlemen.
It sounds crazy, but that's what I like about you the most. Why, on our pound notes, why isn't King Charles wearing his crown?
I don't know. I've asked this question to loads of people, and I actually, I've got the coronation coin. So there is a coronation coin with a picture of him with a crown on. So there's pictures of him like getting, but like yeah, all the other pound notes like there's no picture. You got to have that special coin if you want the one with him with a crown on. I think he's gone as well. I've got my eye on Windsor Castle. That's going to be mine when we take over.
You think they're all dead, so you don't think King Charles is alive?
It's just a show. It's just a show. Like, who is he?
How do you explain the fingers then?
Fuck knows. Like, it's like deep fakes. Like, I think the technology that these people have got is way more advanced than what we're told. Have you seen they can do a face transplant now?
No.
You never seen face transplant? So in China, they're doing face transplants. Guess what I want to know? Where are they getting the young faces from?
How much are they?
No, where are they getting the young faces from?
Oh, what, they're like generating younger faces?
Yeah. So you get your old face taken off and they put new skin on you. Where are they getting that new skin? Where are they farming that from?
Why are they doing it?
Yeah, a bit weird, isn't it?
What do you
Have you
think?
heard of frazzle drip? That's what Hillary Clinton's famous for, isn't it?
What's that?
Frazzle drip. You not heard of that?
No.
Mate, you ain't done no conspiracy, have you? Frazzle drip's the Wilson face. You seen that Tom Hanks with the island?
Oh,
where he's got the little face. Yeah. What if
On-
I
on
start
the ball,
going?
innit?
Yeah. If I start getting into what that face is like, that's a skinned face that they wear. That's like basically from a kid. That's what it symbolises. The Wilson face, frazzle drip. Go and watch Frazzle Drip, mate. You go on X and look it up after this, mate, and you'll be sickened.
Never even heard of it.
Yeah, that's by design, like, because they don't want people seeing that. When the mass population see that and see what's going on, mate, it's going to be hell to pay for these people.
Do you think the internet's the best place for you?
I've spent my life actively avoiding getting my photo taken, like getting videoed. Like, I never really liked it. Like,
Good luck with that now.
Yeah, I know, but like needs must and that. Like, times change, don't they? Fuck it. Like, it's one of those. Now I need to, like, someone had to do it. Someone had to start standing up in my area and like, if you want something done properly, guess what? Best person for that job is you. If you want it done, go and do it yourself.
What sort of reception do you get in your local area?
No, everyone loves it, mate. Everyone loves it. Like, I've had loads of threats and stuff online, but guess what? No one shows up. Like, I often dox myself and I tell people where I'm going to be and that. I don't care.
Yeah, you don't hide away from anything, do you?
I can answer questions. Like, I'm big enough and ugly enough to like take care of myself. So, yeah, I ain't really scared of nothing. I ain't bothered. Like, if you want to come down and start causing ag with me, you better be prepared.
What about death? Do you fear death?
Death is not the end.
Ah.
Death is not the end.
Is it the beginning?
I don't know what it is, but yeah, I don't think it's the end.
So you
I think
don't?
we go somewhere else. Like, I never used to be spiritual until I started. Like, I done DMT, didn't I? Done that about 2 years ago. Like, yeah, you see the ancestors there, mate. It takes you somewhere else. I was never spiritual before that. I never really believed it. I started doing a lot of psychedelics as well, just to like get on. I bought myself a new psychedelic cactus the other day.
Just to get on.
Peyote, yeah. Peyote, it's called. So I want to try that. So you've got to grow them for a couple of years, but yeah, it's all legal.
Well, here we go then. If you've sort of travelled outside of your own mind, do you believe in time travel?
I've not seen it, right? But yes, I definitely think there's got to be time travel here because, like, how much stuff, right, we've been shown, like people are calling it all these conspiracies and stuff, but like it's all getting proven at the minute, right? And someone, like, how have they written all the stuff they predicted in The Simpsons? There's got to be someone who's time travelled and come from the future and told all that. Like, how have they done it otherwise? How have they done it?
What about aliens? Do you believe in them?
What is an alien? Something that's not from round here. I mean, many things from under the sea could be considered alien because they're not like, yeah, they don't conform to the sort of on-land standards, do they? But, yeah, what is an alien? I think space is fake. I think we can't go anywhere.
Did Neil Armstrong land on the moon?
Of course he bloody didn't. Of course he didn't.
And what makes you think everything's a lie?
Because, like, you've only got to, like, sort of, like, use a bit of discernment.
And this isn't a challenge, this is a curiosity. I'm enjoying your brain.
I've seen enough things now, like, that have, like, I've been lied to about, and, like, I see it, and I'm just like, that was bollocks. Like the school system, for instance. Like, I wasted, like, 15 years of my life in that place, and I learned pretty much nothing. Like, most of the stuff that I've learned I've needed in my life, I either learned at home or by myself, like down the woods and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Go out and, like, teach yourself stuff. Or my mates taught me. You know what I mean? Like, most of the stuff I learned, like my lad said it to, he's 18, right? He left school a couple of years ago, and but 2 years out of school, he's chatting the other week, and he's going, I wish I'd known, like, now, like, what I knew when I was, like, at school, because he goes, I'd have had way more fun. He goes, I wouldn't have listened to a fucking word they said. He goes, I'd have just gone in there and had fun every day and not cared, not done any of the work or tried or anything. I was like, yeah, mate, why do you think, mate, I never agged you to, like, do your homework or anything like that? I never scolded him. If you don't want to, I ain't going to force him. I don't care. I ain't going to sit there and make my kid upset because he don't want to do his own work. Go and do your own work, and he'd disappear out of his room for an hour. You done it, yeah. I don't care if you're lying. I'm not going to check it. He knows that if he goes up there for an hour and he says he's done it, I ain't checking, so he can get away with not doing it.
I had great fun at school. But how the generations have changed. I mean, look what's happening online. OnlyFans. There we go. Bonnie Blue. What are your thoughts on the likes?
Mate, what a disgrace. I think she needs sterilising straight away because she doesn't deserve to be a mother. Like, you're going to show your kid is going to see that. Like that's on the internet now, and like for that you should be sterilised. Like, what a state! Like, how can you do that and think that it's like? But like, they're on there like making like good money out of that though. So like, why wouldn't they? Like, it's like being a brass is the oldest job in the fucking world, isn't it?
Do you think there's anything more sinister going on behind the scenes?
It's definitely sinister. It's poisoning youth. It's poisoning the youth and turning them to a bunch of little wankers. That's basically what they want. Like, just know, right, any young lads watching this, every time you're sitting there looking at that porn on your phone, right, and you've got that front-facing camera, there's one of them lads that owns that site can see you through that. sitting there watching your cum face, yeah, battering it out at the phone.
I wonder how many people are actually aware that, like, everyone's being watched. And yeah, if you're watching porn on your phone, someone's watching you jerking the gherkin. I thought you'd have a strong opinion on that.
I think it's disgusting, mate. Like, these people need taking out and fucking getting rid of.
And are you for or against capital punishment?
No, definitely for, mate. But like at the minute, would we want to give the people that are in charge the power to capital punish someone. Do you know what I mean? Are these people like if we want to bring in capital punishment, which we need to, I believe, we need to clear out the judiciary, we need to clear out the police, and we need to clear out Parliament. We need to get rid of all those people in power that will do bad things to people like Tommy Robinson, people like Lucy Conley, people like Charlie Smith. All these people got political prisoners. Like, that shouldn't be happening.
And while it's in my head, if there's a few people that you're kind of curious of that I know, I can always bring you together down the line if you've got, because you strike me as a person that questions everything, which I do. I think it must be our era, because we've seen such a change in demographic and everything else. It's like, well, why? Like, we were going in quite a nice direction when we were younger, like watching the A-Team and the young ones and playing out in the street, playing 40-40 and knock down ginger and being little tearaways. And now everything's like, it's just changed. And I go back to, I admire your courage. And I believe that's what we're lacking, testicular fortitude. What would you say to anybody that's walking the world crippled with fear?
What are you scared of? What are you scared of? Like, really, like when it comes down to it, you come here and naked and alone, and you go naked and alone. And like, what are you scared of in between? Like, why lose the fear? That's what you got to do. You got to just lose the fear. They say courage is contagious, but like, I ain't seeing it.
Maybe something to consider down the line, like you setting up your own podcast, because I'm seeing more and more people stand up and, you know, put their head above the parapet now more than, I mean, I think it's because there's been such a crazy shift from the far left. You know, people have got to push back against this madness, like, you know, leftists and Islamists coming together, you know, people accepting men that are identifying as women and then putting them in women's spaces, but they're men, and everyone just seems to be accepting it and listening to the loud minority. The loud minority.
Oh, mate, a very, very tiny, very, very loud minority. That's who you see on the TV. Like, that's how all these like agendas get pushed. Like, a little tiny one. Like, you only got to control, like, I think it's 96% of all like media places are owned by like 5 families in America. So you only need to be in one of those. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, everything's like, everyone's steered in a certain direction, but they want everyone boxed as well. So, like, have you noticed, like, the homes they're giving people? So they're stressing people out more now. They're building flats and boxes and, like, cramming people into the cities. We're given the illusion that there's not enough space here. But we could all have an acre each, like, do you know what I mean? But, we couldn't do that because of the countryside. Well, why not? Why not? Like, why are you building boxes? Because, you know, like, I found that, like, when I first moved out, I was in, like, a small house, right? 2 up, 2 down. It wasn't a huge house. It was a tiny little place, right? And it didn't matter where you go in that house, you can still hear everyone else in the house. Do you know what I mean? There's no getting away from it. And that's what flats are like. There's no getting away from everything. You don't get no personal space. Like, and geezers especially, you need a man cave or a shed or something or a garden that you can just disappear into and get away from the missus. Do you know what I mean? And like, if you can't get away from her, you're going to be trapped in there, and that's going to cause friction. I don't care what anyone says. If you spend that much, do you know what I mean? Everyone needs a bit of alone time.
Space.
And, yeah, you need some space. And the way they're designing these homes now, I mean, I see a thing in Uxbridge. They said they're building 320 new homes right next to the high street, right? Starts looking into this. These homes are going to be a bedroom, a bathroom, and a kitchen. And then the rest of it's going to be, and they're for single person units with a bed, bath and kitchen. And then the rest of it's going to be communal areas. It's the university style, they said. And this is, they're calling these homes, right? This is what they want for my kids, like, to live in, because they can't afford a house. They can't afford a house with a garden around this area because they've been priced out of the market by inflation, right? But inflation is a lie word. It's not inflation. It's devaluation. Right, it's devaluation of our money by way of printing more, because the only thing that affects how much, like inflation, is how much new money is printed. So if every year they're printing 3% more money, then, do you know what I mean? You can see why it's been so badly devalued. That's all it is. Like, it's all a massive scam.
And just before I wrap this up, and this is important so people don't switch off now because you think it's over, because it's not. Let's go back to you, Les, and like, what's coming your way? Because obviously you've got a court case coming up, you've got a trial coming up.
I've got 3.
You got 3. So, yeah. So where are you now within this whole ULEZ battle?
Basically waiting to present evidence to a court of what the ULEZ is. But, yeah, I can't see them letting us in with that because when they do, they're going to have to take the weapon system down that day. It's a dangerous piece of battlefield hardware. We've actually even got SSE, Scottish Southern Electric, on notice for powering up the weapon system as well. So we've put into their, written to them and told them, you're basically providing power for an electronic assault weapon. You need to cease and desist on all work on them and go and unplug the ones you've powered up, basically. We'll see what they do. So we're at them on a few different sides here. It's gone from sort of out on the streets action side to more bit of paperwork side, and just going at them through the system, if you will, getting them in their own courts and in their own game.
Let's pretend for 1 minute. If you were sat opposite 𝐸𝐸𝐾, what would you say to him?
Go away. Get away from me. I've got nothing to say to them. He needs to be in prison, rotting. I wouldn't even want to waste my time getting angry or anything. I wouldn't lower my vibration. I'd just go away, you dickhead. I might take the piss out of him and do you know what I mean?
Talk about his trousers.
Make a little video, talk about his nose. Do you know what I mean? Whatever, yeah, but yeah. I don't waste my time hating these people. At the end of the day, he is still just another puppet. He's there doing what he's told for the C40 digital prison agenda. I don't like the geezer. I wouldn't give him the time of day. I wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of those. But I wouldn't sit here and get angry and ruin my day over it.
And what is that C40 agenda?
C40 digital prisons. It's basically you're not going to be. Everyone's going to be stuck within a 15-minute area. So have you seen what do they call it? They've done it in Oxford, districts in the Hunger Games. Where they divide the town up into districts, didn't they? So you've got District 1, District 2, and then they start pitting the districts off against each other. That'll be what it comes down to. And it'll soon be you're not authorised to leave your district now. And that's where the ULEZ comes in, the geofencing. So they'll be able to stop your electric car with that. You go past a certain toll gate, you're not allowed past that toll gate. You better turn back before we blow your car up.
So in your opinion, the future's not particularly bright?
Dystopian. Yeah, we're going to take over, mate. They're not getting away with it. We've caught them here, and they're not getting away with it. We're going to have them.
The King's Army's coming for
That's
you.
right, mate. We're going to do it. They weren't expecting the likes of me, mate. They weren't expecting the likes of me.
Before the final question, where can people find you, all of your platforms?
TikTok, Matt Hardy Bladerunner, and then I've got Instagram and X. They're both the same handle, Matt Hardy _BR. And then I've got my regular name on Facebook, Matt Houston. But yeah, in brackets underneath it, Matt Hardy Bladerunner is the nickname, so you should be able to search it up like that. But yeah, I've just got the 4 socials. I'm on YouTube as well, but I don't use it. It's Matt Hardy Audits on YouTube. I was thinking about going out and doing some auditing. Go and interact with some security guards if I get bored, can I?
It's very hard not to take a shine to you. Definitely one of the most entertaining people on the internet. So what would you say, what would be your final message without me asking you a question? What would your final message to the British public be?
Get out, get after it. No one is coming to help you, folks. Everyone's sitting there waiting for a saviour. That's what we've been taught to do, wait for the saviour. everyone's sitting there looking at false idols, right? All of the people that you see as idols, football players, celebrities, these people are nothing. Yeah, go and look at your local, someone local, someone who does local community work. They're the real heroes that people should be idolising. And when we start getting back to that, we start turning off the screens and looking at the people around us instead of people who live hundreds of miles away. That's when we'll get. You want to win your freedom, go out and take it back. Yeah, there's no other way of doing it. Yeah? Freedom isn't free. You got to fight for it. You got to go out. We've done it in our area. I've told them, if you put the ULEZ back up on the Battle of All Saints, we've called it, because All Saints Church, it's a junction where there's 4. It's the closest units to my house. Put that back up. It's coming down, and you're losing your lights again that day. Yeah, and it only takes one determined geezer in each area to do that. And it'd be the one.
Also, people watching and listening, Matt is he does a lot of woodwork in his spare time to control his and soothe his ADHD.
Yeah, sure.
I know all about that, so maybe I might take up some woodwork. But he also sells his woodwork products on his Facebook page. Is that right?
Yeah. People just as and when I make stuff, I just post photos and people come and like take it off us. Yeah, or I can post it out. Yeah, not a problem.
Okay. If you've got this far in the interview and you like what you hear, please like and subscribe to the channel, because the bigger the channel, the bigger the guest, and you're not going to find people like Matt Hardy in the mainstream media realm, because Matt talks about the stuff they don't want you to hear. Thank you for coming on. You're an interesting guy. You've got beautiful eyes, and I mean this implicitly, and also we do not condone or promote the vandalism of anything, including Ulez cameras on this channel. Make that absolutely clear. Nothing to do with me. But I will be watching you from afar, and stay safe.
Thank you very much, Geezer.
Thank
No
you,
worries, mate.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, buddy.